These are the times F1 drivers humiliated their opponents.
I think they touch again.
Drives into him.
Good job, Very good.
Like this driver who completely humiliated his opponent. Because at the Hungarian Grand Prix, when Hulkenberg was trying to overtake Magnussen,
right, this is the Magnussen-Hulk battle.
It is. Hulkenberg's having to go around the outside again, trying to hang on in there. Magnussen did not leave him any room whatsoever as he made his way around the outside.
this left Hulkenberg enraged. When it comes to racing, he's just nasty, Hulkenberg said. But turns out Magnussen wasn't having any of it. And so, what happened after the race was even more humiliating.
Han prøver på ledbanen. Once again, the most unsportive driver. Save my balls, honey. Yeah, they're really good, man. Keep doing it.
Yup, on live television. I mean, he said it so casually, like he was ordering coffee. Later, one driver humiliates his rival in the middle of the track. But first, you gotta see what this driver did. I feel this is one of the most shocking moments in F1 history. It was 2017, Baku, Hamilton and Vettel fighting for the championship. So as you can imagine, tensions were already running a bit too high. Under the safety car, Hamilton was leading, controlling the pace. But because of that tension, something completely unexpected happened.
And look, this is down at turn 15. Lewis is backing up the pack a little bit. And, he went into him.
Down at turn 15, Vettel accused Hamilton of brake testing him, causing his Ferrari to slam into the Mercedes. He was convinced he did it, and so because of this, what happened next was pure chaos.
You watch when he goes alongside, I think they touch again.
Yeah, they do.
Do they ever?
He drives into him.
Deliberate contact in the middle of a Grand Prix.
Strictly speaking, Crofty, it's causing a collision. The driver of car number 5 caused a collision.
Vettel literally just came alongside me and turned in and hit me.
The entire F1 world was speechless. Four-time champ Sebastian Vettel just lost it. As a result, that tension went from bad to worse.
They've seen today how a four-time world champion behaves. Hopefully that doesn't ripple into the younger categories.
I think it was very clear. I think in the end we're racing with men, so...
Well, I mean, if he wants to prove that he's a man, I think we should do it out of the car, face to face.
Don't worry, eventually things calmed down. They patched up soon after. In fact, Hamilton even said, subscribe. Just kidding. But guys, you have to witness what happened in this race. See, this driver brutally humiliated his opponents. At the European Grand Prix, racing conditions were at their absolute worst. It was pouring rain. I mean, the track was like an ice rink.
Fabio Barbazza goes out, you see, and so out is...
As a result, most drivers were struggling. Some were even trying to just stay on track. But not Ayrton Senna. Starting from 4th position, Senna was about to deliver arguably the greatest lap in F1 history.
Senna coming up to Michele Alboreto in the Lola Ferrari.
Within one lap, Senna had overtaken Michael Schumacher, Carl Wendlinger, Damon Hill, and Alan Prost to take the lead. Not just any drivers, legends.
Ayrton Senna is up to 4th position ahead of Schumacher and challenging Wendlinger as they go round the right-hander into the old hairpin. Senna is up to 3rd.
Tremendous stuff. He muscled his way back into contention at Redgate. He's going inside Damon Hill, and Senna into 2nd place already.
Michael Andretti and Carl Wendlinger, and Senna goes through into the lead. He's passed Alain Prost, so...
4 overtakes in one lap during torrential rain. But turns out that humiliation was just the beginning. See, Senna's McLaren was nowhere near as competitive as Prost's dominant Williams. I mean, Williams' cars were far ahead that whole year. But still, even after all that, Senna proceeded to dominate the entire field.
To go after one of the best tactical drives I have ever seen.
Senna's performance was so incredible that by the end of the race, he'd lapped everyone except Damon Hill.
So here is Ayrton Senna across the line, and it is victory for the Brazilian for the 38th time.
He even finished over a minute ahead of Prost. You know, the guy in that dominant Williams. This wasn't just a win, it was a masterclass that left his rivals speechless. But like Ayrton's masterclass, I wish I could say the same thing about what this driver did. Trust me, it's not pretty. When this 3-time champion said something so shocking, it got him banned from the F1 paddock. Nelson Piquet used a racist slur to describe Lewis Hamilton. As you can imagine, the reaction to it was immediate and explosive.
Piquet twice used a racially offensive expression in Portuguese when referring to Hamilton during a Brazilian podcast last November.
F1 condemned it instantly. The entire F1 community turned against Piquet. He was banned from the paddock and allegedly trying to get his legacy forever tarnished. This showed the message. There's no place for racism in motorsport. In response, even Hamilton said, "It's more than language. These archaic mindsets need to change and have no place in our sport. I've been surrounded by these attitudes and targeted my whole life. There's been plenty of time to learn. Time has come for action. But look, now that you've reached the top 3 humiliating moments, as you know, things are gonna get much more insane. Like the incredible comeback that happened in Japan. Kimi Raikkonen, known for his ice-cold composure, but also his ruthless driving. At the 2005 Japanese Grand Prix, Kimi started from 17th position. Clearly McLaren wasn't the fastest car, and as you might know, overtaking at Suzuka is notoriously difficult. So in that position, things would be tough for any driver. But guys, this is Kimi Raikkonen we're talking about. You know, the ruthless driver. Lap after lap, he carved through the field with surgical precision.
The fastest man on the track is Kimi Raikkonen in the McLaren, who also started from the back of the grid.
But even after that, after all that overtaking, he was still behind the leader, Renault's Giancarlo Fisichella.
Back out again. There's Fisichella. He takes the lead back again, and that is the margin.
Now, in this case, where only a few laps were left, any driver would take it easy and bring home P2. After all, he started from P17. But no, Kimi said, your second place, and made his move. He made that on the final lap. He made it around the outside at 130R, and that too at over 300 kilometers per hour.
He started from 17th place. Kimi Raikkonen, the winner.
After all, he's called Iceman for a reason. Ice in his veins. From 17th to 1st on the final lap. Simply driving perfection. But I know another thing that's also perfection. Smashing that subscribe button right now. But speaking of Raikkonen and smashing, this driver humiliated his opponent so much that it shocked everyone. Max Verstappen and Kimi Raikkonen, the young lion and the Iceman.
Verstappen a bit later on the brakes, yes he is, and he pushes Kimi Raikkonen wide.
Do I have to let the Red Bull pass because his only interest is pushing me off the circuit completely?
In the beginning, Verstappen was the aggressive young driver, not giving anyone an inch, not even for the legendary Kimi.
Verstappen's ahead of Raikkonen. Now what's going to happen this time, I wonder? Which way is he going to go? Oh, and Verstappen kind of invited Raikkonen to go down the inside and then cut him off.
Since then, Verstappen's changed a lot and gives drivers a lot more opportunities to pass.
Max Verstappen right behind Hamilton into the first chicane. Once again, it's wheel to wheel. Hamilton and Verstappen, and this time Verstappen and Hamilton have crashed out, and they are both out.
Just kidding. Race after race, Max would block Kimi, refusing to let him pass.
He moved right and then back to left when I was going there.
As a result, the Iceman was getting frustrated, and I got to know about that when he started speaking more than one word.
I'm all up for fair racing and close battles, but when I have to brake on after all rules before turn 5 from the full speed when he turns in front of me, that's not correct in my view.
Race after race, the same issue occurred for Raikkonen. He was always getting blocked. And so, when the opportunity finally came for revenge, Raikkonen took it. At the US Grand Prix, Verstappen fought with Kimi for the podium. As laps went down, tension increased. Both were on it for a while. But Raikkonen was holding down Verstappen. I mean, do you even blame him after what he's been through? Clearly, there was no chance Raikkonen was going to let Verstappen through legally. Yup, legally. Because on the last lap, after everything they both had been through, Verstappen threw a Hail Mary.
Now Max Verstappen, if Kimi is trying to hold him up, has got the opportunity, goes down the inside, Max Verstappen!
After staying the entire race behind Raikkonen, Verstappen overtook him for the podium. But wait, remember when I said Raikkonen wasn't going to let that happen?
Max Verstappen, he has a 5-second time penalty for leaving the track and gaining an advantage.
Raikkonen made sure he didn't pass him legally. He made sure there's enough space, but still difficult enough to let that overtake stick. So that penalty didn't just give Raikkonen the position back, oh no sir. The revenge even went further.
Here we go.
Kimi's on his way, and Max is deep in conversation, telling Seb just how good that move was.
He's about to become a cuckoo, isn't he?
Going to the cool-down route, thinking you're about to go and get the trophy.
Kimi's arrived.
But then get removed? That's humiliating.
Again. Verstappen gets 5 seconds added. He hands the place back to Kimi Raikkonen. Raikkonen does finish on the podium for the first time since Hungary.
Safe to say, Kimi got his revenge. I mean, look at his face. That's the most he's smiled in his entire life. But now, out of all the things shown earlier, here's the most humiliating moment in F1. In 2008, you might know about Massa and Hamilton's final race face-off, but what you don't know is what happened after that race. In that final race of the season, everything was on the line. Felipe Massa, the hometown hero racing for Ferrari, whereas Lewis Hamilton, the young lion chasing his first championship. Hamilton needed to finish 5th or higher to win the title. Massa had to win and hope Hamilton finished 6th or lower.
Formula One World Championship will be decided here, right now. Massa on the left, Trulli on the right. Look out for Hamilton on the pit wall side. It's a cautious getaway from Hamilton.
As the race unfolded, everything was going Massa's way. He was leading, and Hamilton was struggling in the midfield. With just minutes to go, Hamilton was so far behind that it looked like Massa had already won the championship. So, when he crossed the finish line as the race winner, his family was already celebrating.
We're expecting Massa any time now. He comes through to claim his 6th victory of the season. He has done everything he needed to do.
Felipe Massa, world champion. But just for a few seconds. See, in those final laps, the rain started pouring.
As the rain fell harder, the Toyotas struggled.
Hamilton was running in 6th, just one position away from what he needed to win the championship. So once that rain came in, everything changed.
Is that clock going slowly? It is, it's clock!
On the final lap, in that final corner, Hamilton overtook and finished P5. Massa's dreams were crushed in those final seconds. The Brazilian crowd silenced.
Ferrari are wrong. They're absolutely wrong. Hamilton's finished 5th. You will never see a more dramatic conclusion to any motor race, let alone a Grand Prix, than that.
The feeling that not only you lose after literally winning the championship by just 1 point, and that too in your home Grand Prix. That's humiliating. Clearly anybody would be mad about this, which turns out is exactly what happened to Massa.
Felipe Massa has begun a legal process over the 2008 F1 Championship.
Since the point difference was only 1, Massa believes that by nullifying that year's Singapore Grand Prix, where he didn't score any points, and Hamilton finished P3, Massa would ultimately be crowned that year's world champion, since Hamilton's points from that Singapore race will be removed. But the reason to cancel that race, Crashgate incident, where allegedly Renault's driver crashed intentionally to give his teammate Alonso the chance to win. Due to this, the whole grid shifted, and Massa, who even though was doing well earlier, couldn't score any points. Now, at the time of this recording, the case is still ongoing, so let's see what happens. But yes, one thing is clear, the term crazy times would be an understatement here. But you know what else is crazy? The funniest racing moments the world has ever seen. Like the time when a lunatic crossed the track mid-race, or when a driver turned his car into a taxi. And I know you want to know more about this, so just click this video right here.